Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a potential competitor to the Battlefield franchise, Delta Force Hawk Ops. So is this game something for Battlefield fans? Is it something that should interest you? And ultimately, will this game be able to rival Battlefield for its place on the market? Let's get into all of that in a second. As always though guys, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this game going into the future, so you can certainly expect to see more videos on this from me. So if that is something that interests you, go ahead and hit that sub button. And as always guys, thank you for the support. So this game is based on the original line of Delta Force games from the late 90s and the early 2000s. They were developed by a company called Nova Logic, with the most popular probably being Delta Force Black Hawk Down, which was loosely based on the events that happened in and around Mogadishu, inspired by the movie of that time. The last game they released was all the way back in 2009, 15 years ago, which is why you may have never heard of this series at all. This one is being developed by a company over in China called Timmy Studios. They are known for several mobile titles, but no like PC AAA games as far as I'm aware, so I can certainly understand why people are a little bit apprehensive about this game. They're not really sure whether it's going to deliver on their expectations. So the game is going to have three different modes. Firstly, you've got Black Hawk Down, which they are calling a remaster of the original title, saying immerse yourself in the first-person retelling of Delta operators, delivering a cinematic thrill. So this is essentially the campaign based on that famous Delta Force game from way back when. Then you've got Havoc Warfare, which is like the Battlefield-inspired mode. Not that multiplayer is anything new for the Delta Force games, it's definitely been in the earlier games in the series, all the way back to the days of LAN support, but it's likely this mode that will be the draw, I think, for Battlefield players. And then thirdly, we've got Hazard Operations, which is an extraction shooter, and I'll get into that mode a bit more towards the end of the video. So as a Battlefield fan, I've had this game on my radar ever since I saw the trailer with the tanks and the helis and everything, and of course recently we got another trailer that specifically shows off the Havoc Warfare gameplay, and it pretty much ticks all of the boxes for a Battlefield sandbox style game. There's an attack helicopter with a gunner seat, there are tanks, there's jets flying overhead, RPGs, snipers, you name it, they've pretty much got it. Now, it would be very easy for me to get super hyped here and excited about this game, but if there's one thing that the Battlefield franchise has taught me, the games don't always turn out to be like they are in the trailers. So as much as I really hope that this game is going to be awesome, we've already seen games in the past try to replicate what Battlefield have done. We've seen it with Call of Duty and the Ground War mode, and suffice to say, the vehicles in that game, in that mode, are terrible. Like, I know Battlefield is an arcade shooter and it's an arcade game, but the amount of vehicle depth that existed in Call of Duty was honestly quite pathetic. They felt more akin to something like a kill streak rather than a balanced vehicle, and looking at the helicopter footage, especially in Delta Force, I get the same kind of vibe from this game. I don't want to pass judgment on it, I'm just saying that is a worry for me, but overall I just can't wait to try the game out and see what it actually plays like. Now, along with this trailer, they also dropped a bunch of new information over on the website. So here they list some of the vehicles. So we have the AH-1035D assault helicopter. Then we have this all-terrain vehicle here, this quad bike. We've got an LAV G1 IFV. Then we have an LAV AA, so this is like the anti-air version of that, and then also an assault vehicle. Not too much information on what they are here, and obviously we saw more vehicles like jets and tanks and stuff, so this definitely isn't the full list. Now, moving on to the operators, instead of having generic soldiers, they've got these 4 characters, each with their own unique abilities that quite remind me of Apex Legends more than anything else, but they have assured us that all of these gadgets are apparently based on reality, and they are things that actually exist today. But nevertheless, a lot of these feel both a far cry from the original Delta Force games and also from what most people consider to be classic Battlefield. In fact, they feel maybe a little bit more closer to like the Specialist from Battlefield 2042, so depending on if you like that kind of thing or not, it may have an effect on you one way or the other. So here are the 4 operators that we know about so far. First of all, we have Direwolf, he's like the assault guy. So he's got this motorized exoskeleton that allows you to temporarily gain increased movement speed and rate of fire, and knocking down enemies recovers HP and stamina while extending the overload duration. He also gets a gadget called the Triple Blaster, which is a hand triple grenade launcher, and that can attach to vehicles. His second gadget is a smoke grenade, and his trait is the Tactical Slide. Then we've got Shepard, the engineer. So his tactical gear is called Sonic Paralysis. So it says here, launches a sonic UAV that paralyzes enemy limbs, reducing their rate of fire and movement speed. Press the button to make the UAV fly forward and paralyze the area ahead once. Hold the button to have the UAV defend the current area and hit enemies with sonic paralysis 4 times. Then for his first gadget, he has the Sonic Trap. So it deploys a sonic trap that adheres to hard surfaces, and when triggered, it generates a subsonic wave that penetrates the enemy's vests and slows them down. His second gadget is the Frag Grenade, and then his trait is called Buffer Defense, and it says uses a hand device to generate anti-phase sound waves to reduce damage from explosion shock. So the whole Sonic thing sounds pretty fancy, but it basically comes down to a drone, a mine, and a grenade, and then he takes less explosive damage. Then we have the Recon character. So this is Luna. She's got a tactical recon arrow that spots enemies. I think it spots them through walls as well, based on the trailers. She's got a Volt arrow that generates electric currents to deal damage over time. She's got a Frag Grenade as her second gadget, and then her trait is the Hunter's Mark, and it says Luna's damage marks enemies hit for a short duration. And then finally, we have B Colony, who is like the support or the medic class. His tactical gear is the Therapeutic Pistol, which you can lock onto targets with, and it can heal multiple allied operators at the same time. While healing, debuffs are also suppressed, or you could hold the button down to self-heal. So this guy sounds an awful lot like Falk. He's also got a smoke screen as his second gadget, where like a bunch of drones fly out and drop a smoke screen. Then he has the Hive Tech smoke grenade, which he can shoot with the Therapeutic Pistol, and it apparently releases like a beehive of medical nanobots that disperse this like healing smoke. So I guess if anybody walks into the healing smoke, then they get healed. Sounds kind of a bit far-fetched. I'm not really sold on that being a real thing. And then his trait here is Quick Rescue. Injects a beehive of medical nanobots from the Therapeutic Pistol into a down squad mate to recover more HP. So honestly, this character sounds an absolute rip-off of Falk from Battlefield 2042. Maybe these abilities are going to work, and maybe it won't, affect the game for the worse. I honestly think a lot of these characters are going to be quite forgettable, and they seem super generic, like they've just been put in there for the inclusion reasons. And so I think if this game mode is hoping to attract Battlefield players, this might be a bit of a turn-off for them. Now moving on, the third game mode we have here is called Hazard Operations, which is the extraction shooter. So to me, this looks like the most fleshed out experience so far, and it seems pretty in-depth, and there are actually 30 minutes of raw gameplay up on YouTube of a test that took place in China. So unfortunately, all of the text is in Chinese, but you guys will still get the gist of what's going on here. And this is really what I want to base most of my analysis of this game on. I don't put too much stake in trailers. I want to look at gameplay. And there are actually what I'd call more Milsim-like mechanics in here, like the looting system, for example. You've got a backpack system here where you need to identify the loot and then actually pick it up and choose what you want to take. It's kind of more like Tarkov. This actually really surprised me, and this seems to be like the most promising game mode out of the three to me. So it seems like you only start off with a knife here, so you have to play it stealthily, run over to a soldier, take him out, and then take his weapon. You'll also notice that different items have different rarity colors, just like in other Battle Royale games or extraction games. The map here also looks really, really nice. It's zoomable, which is more than Battlefield 2042 can say for their map. And overall, it just looks, pretty nice, good, readable. And then again, tying into this realism, they actually have a healing system with injuries. So like in a lot of Milsim games, it's not always enough to heal up the damage. You also have to treat the injuries with various healing paraphernalia. So as you'll probably expect from a game mode like this, there are various supply stations around the map, medical supply stations, you can find weapons, you can also pick up contracts that essentially give you a mission that you have to go and accomplish somewhere on the map, so you may have to defend a certain area for a certain amount of time. That rewards you with currency that then allows you to buy better gear. But the overall main objective is to pick up these things called Mandel bricks. Now these will be marked on the map, but once you pick one up, everybody else in the game will be able to see your location. I'm not sure if that is constant or if you're intermittently pinged, but either way, it's going to be a race against the time. So once you have one of these Mandelbricks, you have to take it off to a deciphering station, defend it until it is deciphered, and then you can go and extract with it. So overall here, this game certainly has my attention. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it and see how it progresses. I can't wait to play it. I just worry that they might be biting off a little bit more than they can chew here with these 3 different modes. I've seen it before with Battlefield 2042, and maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm worried it's going to happen with this game here. But from what I've seen so far of Hazard Operations, this game mode actually seems pretty fleshed out. It seems pretty solid. I can't really say that it's something new that I haven't seen before, but who knows, maybe as a Battlefield player, that's not what you're looking for. Support for Battlefield 2042 has just recently been cancelled, and with the next game coming out at the earliest 2025, well, everybody's going to be looking at something to fill their time with. And who knows, maybe this game could be it. In any case, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video today. Let me know if you want to see more of Delta Force here on the channel. Subscribe for more, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next video.